What's up, everybody? Today I want to talk to you about questions to ask when hiring a CPA. Now, over the last few weeks, I have been asked more and more frequently about hiring a CPA. And after working with many tax professionals over the last few years, ranging from a guy who literally resulted in me owing the IRS like $3,000 for money that he fraudulently claimed and had paid to his personal bank account, to the fantastic Brandon Cox of BMC Accounting, who I use now. In the middle, I've used a few decent CPAs and tax professionals, and I've learned what I like and didn't like to see when hiring a CPA. What's up, guys? I'm Dave, the Military Millionaire, and if you're new to this channel, we help service members, veterans, and their families learn how to build wealth through real estate investing, personal finance, and entrepreneurship. Now, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that little bell to make sure you get notified and don't miss important updates or content. We do a lot of like VA loan content and updates that'll be very beneficial to you as the military real estate guy or girl. Now, when should you hire a tax professional? There are two ways to answer this question in both life cycle and time of year. So as far as life cycle goes, you should begin looking for a tax professional as soon as you have more to claim than just your normal W-2 salary. Most young service members are completely safe with going to the free places and services on base or filing online quickly. But the moment you add real estate income, dividend income, stock profits, short-term capital gains, or business revenue into the mix, you're going to want to find a professional. Also, if you just hate the process of filing taxes or you put it off till the last minute, maybe you should just go ahead and hire somebody to do it for you. All right, as far as the time of year goes, and this is important and often overlooked by people, January through April, May is the busiest time of year for tax professionals. This is ultimately the wrong time to begin hiring somebody to prepare your taxes. Now, my personal tax professional was so slammed at the beginning of this year that he stopped taking on new clients. Not only that, but no tax preparer who's actually worth a shit is going to have spare time during tax season to let you just stop and interview them wondering if they're going to get your business, right? They're going to be slammed and they're not just going to be idly talking to people. Now, for these reasons, you need to begin hunting for a tax professional during the summer or fall of the year before you need them. That will ensure that you can find the best tax professional for your situation and have plenty of time to get familiar with working with each other and helping, see how they want the taxes done and all that other stuff before tax season. It will also ensure that they have factored in your return into their workload and you won't get turned away. All right, I broke this out into technical and intangible answers for hiring a CPA. The technical ones, so look, from Brandon Cox, this is the technical answers from Brandon on hiring a CPA or tax professional. So this is the stuff that is above my head. Now, the first thing you should be looking for is the level of experience that they have as a tax professional. And because I'm less qualified to know what certifications and specific requirements and information a tax professional should know, I decided to ask Brandon, my tax professional, and I was more than happy with his answers, and I've expounded upon them a little bit as to why they're so important so that you can ensure your tax preparer knows enough to be lethal with your taxes. First up, what certifications do you have? Are you a certified like button smasher? If not, all you have to do to become certified is click that little thumbs up on the video, which helps YouTube recognize that this is worth a shit, and any other videos that you find helpful. Now, anyway, as with any professional or profession, you want to ensure that the person you hire has the proper credentials. You wouldn't want Billy the mechanic who learned via YouTube working on your Ferrari. You would hopefully hire a Ferrari certified mechanic. So you're looking for one of three professionals to hire. According to Brandon, there are three certifications that you should look for. Any of these three sets of certifications will mean that your tax preparer is adequately qualified to file your taxes as a real estate investor. The first is an enrolled agent, like Brandon. As an enrolled agent, or EA, they are a tax practitioner who is licensed at the federal level by the IRS, or Internal Revenue Service. Now, becoming an enrolled agent means that you're credentialed at the highest level by the IRS because you're federally licensed, unlike some of the other qualifications. Enrolled agents are also, they focus more narrowly on business and private entity tax preparation, which should mean that they're generally more qualified for what you're looking to achieve in a tax professional. Next up, we have certified public accountants. Now, CPAs, or certified public accountants, are the most discussed tax professional in the real estate world. In fact, I still catch myself accidentally referring to Brandon as a CPA, even though his certification is a federal one and CPA is not. So CPAs have a more expansive repertoire than enrolled agents generally, and at first glance this sounds like a good thing, but I suppose it depends on how deep you want to go down the business and real estate realm with your taxes. CPAs are licensed by their state boards of accountancy and are still more than sufficiently qualified to file your taxes. As a side note, the CPA exam is extremely difficult, so really anybody with these credentials should be quite knowledgeable. The third one is the United States Tax Court Practitioner, or the USTCP. That's another specialized tax profession. You're much less likely to actually be interviewing anybody with this distinction, as they generally end up working in the tax court system. Nonetheless, this credential would mean that there would merit them worthy of filing your taxes. Now, the first thing you're going to want these people do is have them look at your prior year return, right? So what you want to do is bring a copy of your prior tax return in, and this tax professional should be able to quickly show you what was done correctly and what was done incorrectly and what can be improved going forward. What you're really looking for here is their ability to articulate these points to you in a way that you understand simply. Unfortunately, some tax professionals get into doctor speak world where they speak so intelligently, you may have no idea what they're saying, and you just don't want that for your tax professional. You want a tax professional who can break things down Barney style for you, and they're going to be able to help you understand some of these more complex topics. All right, you're going to want to test them by asking real estate questions. If you know enough to be dangerous, then you should be able to throw some stump the chump tax questions at them. For example, if I were hiring a CPA, I might ask them if they think I should perform a cost segregation on a property. Now, this would be especially beneficial if I already knew that the property was too small to warrant performing a cost seg on. So what you're looking for are two things. A, do they know enough to answer your question on the fly? And B, can they articulate why or why not in a way that makes sense to you? The next piece is they need to be able to explain the Section 121 exclusion. Now, if you're in the military and you're thinking about hiring a CPA, EA, or USTCP, or any other tax professional, you should absolutely ask them about the Section 121 exclusion. For those of you who don't know, if you live in a home for a cumulative total of 24 months out of the last 5 years, you won't have to pay capital gains tax on the first $250,000 or $500K for certain taxpayers filing a joint return in profit. Well, Section 121 allows active duty members to extend the 5-year period to 15, which is incredible, but not every tax preparer knows this. So you should test them by asking something like, I heard service members can use the capital gains exclusion for more than 5 years after moving out of the home. Do you know if this is true? If they aren't familiar with this, they're probably not the best tax preparer for you, the military real estate guy or girl. Now, you want to have them explain the 8582. Honestly, I'm just going to leave this explanation to Brandon because I don't fully understand the 8582 and all the ins and outs. I don't want to lead you astray. So he stated that it shows whether or not you can use real estate write-offs and if you can carry them over those losses from previous years into this year or from this year into future years. And that sounds good to me, and I'm sure your tax professional, if they're good, will be able to answer this question specifically pertaining to your situation. All right, now let's dig into some of the intangibles that you look for when hiring a CPA or tax professional. So these are my answers about what I look for when I'm hiring a CPA, EA, USTCP, or whatever. Now, as I said before, I've had some good experiences and some really bad experiences, like someone doing tax fraud and I had to pay for it. Now, my current tax preparer is the best I've seen, and he showed me a whole new level of service on the tax front. Confidence, right? That's the first one. I think this goes without saying in any profession. That being said, accountants can sometimes be the very quiet, like behind the scenes type of people. And there's nothing inherently wrong with this, but you definitely want them to be able to hold their own in a conversation and confidently articulate some things that you may or may not want to do with your taxes going forward. Next up is aggression. No, not like violence. You want an aggressive tax professional. For example, when I first talked with Brandon, he immediately saved me a ton of money by introducing me to MileIQ, an app that tracks your mileage while driving. Now, this application saved me more money on taxes in 2020 than it cost me to file the returns for all of my LLCs. Now, I had tax preparers in the past who could answer questions I threw their direction, but they weren't aggressive enough to make unsolicited suggestions to improve my taxes. They would wait. If I asked them a question, they might be able to answer, they might be able to help me, but they wouldn't just voluntarily say, you could do this, this, and this. Now, I don't know about you, but I'll never turn down unsolicited advice from my tax professional about how to save money on taxes. The third piece here is You want them to be a tax strategist. Now this ties into the aggressiveness, but when hiring a tax professional, you want to ensure that they can think like a master strategist, whatever. My current tax professional will sit down and do a tax planning session with you in order to help you plan for the next few years. And that helps you save money on taxes as well. Like, for example, he recommended I do solar in the next year or two to help save some expenses on my 10 unit. That's good to know. There's some write-offs with that, some other good stuff. Now, there's a huge difference between a tax professional who can file your taxes and one who can prepare your tax return while simultaneously helping you plan for the next few years in order to reduce the amount of taxes you pay overall through the bigger picture. That's the guy you want. Number 4 is that you want an educator. And you see the trend here? You're hiring a tax professional, and as such, I think it's only natural to expect them to be able to educate you about taxes as they pertain to your specific situation. Don't settle for anybody who files your taxes when you could have somebody that helps you improve your tax rate every year. Hiring a CPA, EA, USDCP, whatever, should save you money. This is the biggest one. So the biggest question you should be asking yourself when you're interviewing a tax professional is, can this guy or girl save me more money than their services cost? The answer with any tax preparer worth a shit should be a resounding yes. If it isn't, just keep interviewing people until you can answer that question confidently. Also, if you want an introduction to Brandon over at BMC Accounting, just let me know. Or you could go to his website. But if you do, please let him know that you heard about him from me, because it gives me brownie points with him. And honestly, I like to, I don't know about you guys, I like to keep my professionals happy. All right, so the whole point of this video is that I've been asked about this a lot, and the reality is a lot of it's going to be personality based. Another thing that might be worth looking at is a virtual or remote tax professional. So when I first did this, when I first got into real estate, I hired a CPA in Missouri, and when I moved to Hawaii, I did 2 years with the CPA in Hawaii. And when I moved to San Diego, I was going to have to use a San Diego CPA until I found Brandon, who is virtual or remote. And so now I can use Brandon no matter where I live, which is really, really beneficial. So that's kind of what I'm thinking at this point. I think that's a huge benefit for service members that move around a decent amount. But I hope you got something out of this. If you got something out of it, please subscribe, hit that like button, maybe share it with somebody else who would benefit. And let me know what other content you guys want to see. If enough people ask me the same questions, I will do videos and articles and everything else to answer those topics. It's the whole point of this channel. Have a great day.